Fight Imperialism to Fight Fascism. By Leon Trotsky, September 21, 1938. The most important and the most difficult thing in politics, in my opinion, is to define on one hand the general laws which determine the life and death struggle of all countries of the modern world, on the other hand to discover the special combination of these laws for each single country. Modern humanity without exception, from British workers to Abyssinian nomads, lives under the yoke of imperialism. This must not be forgotten for a single minute. But this does not at all mean that imperialism manifests itself equally in all countries. No. Some countries are the carriers of imperialism, others, its victims. This is the main dividing line between modern nations and states. From this, and only from this viewpoint, should the very pressing problem of fascism and democracy be considered. Democracy for Mexico, for instance, signifies the desire of a semi-colonial country to escape from bonded dependence, to give land to the peasants, to lift the Indians to a higher level of culture, and so on. In other words, the democratic problems of Mexico have no progressive and revolutionary character. And what does democracy signify in Great Britain? The maintenance of what exists, that is, above all the maintenance of the rule of the metropolis over the colonies. The same is true in relation to France. The banner of democracy covers here the imperialist hegemony of the privileged minority over the oppressed majority. Fascism and imperialism in the same manner we cannot speak of fascism in general. In Germany, Italy, and Japan, fascism and militarism are the weapons of a greedy, hungry, and therefore aggressive imperialism. In the Latin American countries, fascism is the expression of the most slavish dependence on foreign imperialism. We must be able to discover under the political form the economic and social content. In certain circles of the intelligentsia at present, the idea of the unification of all democratic states against fascism enjoys popularity. I consider this idea fantastic, chimerical, capable only of deceiving the masses, especially of the weak and oppressed peoples. Really, can one believe for even a single moment that Chamberlain, Daladier, or Roosevelt are capable of carrying on a war for the sake of the abstract principle of democracy? Had the British government loved democracy so, it would have given freedom to India. The same is true of France. Great Britain prefers the dictatorship of Franco and Spain to the political rule of the workers and peasants, because Franco would be a much more pliant and reliable agent of British imperialism. England and France have given Austria to Hitler without resistance, although war would be inevitable if he so much as dared touch their colonies. The conclusion is that it is impossible to fight against fascism without fighting imperialism. The colonial and semi-colonial countries must fight first of all against that imperialist country which directly oppresses them, irrespective of whether it bears the mask of fascism or democracy. In the countries of Latin America, the best and surest method of struggle against fascism is the agrarian revolution. Because Mexico had made important steps on this road, the uprising of General Sedillo was left suspended in air. On the contrary, the cruel defeats of the Republicans in Spain are due to the fact that the Azana government in alliance with Stalin suppressed the agrarian revolution and the independent movement of the workers. A conservative and even more reactionary social policy in weak and semi-colonial countries means in the full sense of the word betrayal of national independence.